No, no.
Even your motorbikes have to get spot in the house, which I suppose should be in the garage, but we're really feeling it adds to the character and the funness of the house.
Right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the Crypto News. Just bear with me. I'm just going to record to this computer. We are now all live, and thank you for everyone coming on. I will let everyone know that this will be quite a short call tonight. There's a great call going on, which will be posted in on the groups, but I just wanted to bring everyone up to date with what we know and the news and that sort of thing. But Eric Worre is live, and he's got some great speakers. So that will be going on till about 10 p.m. So have a look at that if you can catch up after this. Couple of things wise, we want to say Mike is still a bit under the weather and had to be readmitted to hospital. Get well soon, Mike. You know, we need you back. Has nothing to do, but just come on, get well. And also, we've had some bad news tonight as well. Ken's in South Africa has been admitted to hospital. So Ken, hi and get well soon, man. We need you out of hospital and get on with it. And Marietta, you must be feeling stressed at the moment. You know, our hearts go out. You know, we are there with you. We're behind you all the way. Okay, what's happening in the world? Right, this is something that I repeat and repeat again, but I think it's really, really important. Crypto will do to the banks what email did to the postal service. Fact, this is going to happen. Okay, now I have a little video that I want to play everyone tonight. Just because I think it's very, very pertinent. It's about 12 minutes long. And we're going to play it, and here we go.
Solicitor confirms that bail-in of deposits is legal. Martin North, John Adams, in the interest of the people. Hello, John.
Hello, sir.
Now we've heard some further interesting news with regard to bail-in.
Yes. So we have been talking about bail-in last year, and then we've done a recent video about bail-in. Basically, our analysis has been a banking expert and an economist looking at this from our lens and basically saying that the claims made by the officials of Treasury, Reserve Bank, APRA, they don't hold water in regards to the bail-in of deposits. They have all said that the bail-in of hybrid securities is the intent of the legislation, but deposits were not. We've gone through chapter and verse about why there are certain loopholes, and so we've provided our lens. But when we have said this, we've said we are not lawyers, but and we are obviously just coming at it from a economic/banking perspective. Well, so the Citizens Electoral Council, who have been very big on this issue, have gone and sought legal advice from a practicing solicitor, and that solicitor has provided confirmation about what we have said. So we're just, you know, obviously let's take a step back. So this solicitor, Robert Butler, you know, in the fullness of transparency, he has done work for the Citizens Electoral Council previously. The Citizens Electoral Council is a registered political party, and Bob Butler has previously made submissions to certain inquiries about bail-in. So he has a long established view on this whole subject. He thought there were other loopholes that he addressed in his submission, but in this legal advice, which we will publish on the DFA website, which goes through about 3 or 4 pages, this registered solicitor goes through some of his arguments for why he thinks bail-in of deposits is legal under the law as it stands, but it also looks at our particular thesis, and that is about the in terms of the deposit contracts and the ability of the banks and APRA to change these contracts without sufficient customer warning, and then using those new clauses in the deposit contracts to then order the bail-in of deposits to occur. The advice from Robert Butler, it is 3 short paragraphs. So I'm just going to bring this up on the screen just so we can go through what he said. So this is specifically about what you and I sort of said last year about deposit contracts. So this is Robert Butler. The quote: "The documentation issued by each Australian bank when opening such an account as in a deposit account has a provision which enables the bank to change the terms and conditions from time to time without the consent of the customer. The specifics of the power vary from bank to bank, but each fundamentally contain such a power. If APRA, as the prudential regulator, issued a prudential requirement regulation or a prudential standard requiring a bank to insert a provision into its documentation/instruments relating to deposit-taking accounts, providing for the bail-in of those deposits, their write-off or conversion, then those provisions would then clearly come within the specific provisions of conversion or write-off within the Act. And the deposit, the subject of the account, could be bailed in immediately. Such a directive could be issued by APRA in accordance with the secrecy provisions in the Australian Prudential Regulation Authority Act 1998 and be implemented with little or no notice to the account holder." So this is not Adams North anymore. We have a practicing lawyer, a solicitor, who has a independent legal practice, who has written 3 paragraphs in this more broader legal advice to say that the deposit contracts have a loophole. The banks can change these deposit terms and conditions at any time that they wish. They could easily insert clauses in there that says that these deposit contracts could be bailed in if that was required at the behest of APRA. And once those provisions or clauses are inserted into the terms and conditions, it then would actually comply with the Crisis Resolution Act that was passed by Parliament last year, and therefore the bail-in of deposits could potentially occur if the recapitalisation directive is issued by APRA. So he's looked at our arguments from a legal standpoint, and he thinks that we are on very solid ground. So in the last part of his legal advice, he refers specifically to this particular point, and basically says that the Adams North position, in his view, is legally sound, which therefore therefore contradicts all of the reassurances from Parliament, all of the reassurances from Treasury, all of the reassurances from APRA, so I don't think between now and the election anything's going to be done. So the question is for the new government and for Treasury under the new government, will they continue to hold the line that there's nothing to see here, or will they then say, in the light of new legal opinion, perhaps we either didn't write the law properly, or our interpretation of the law may be incorrect, or who knows what they'll do.
Well, it seems to me, John, that as we assume election will be announced very soon, right, and therefore there will be a campaign over the next month to 6 weeks, everybody watching this show, if they actually have a chance to interact with their local member, right, they should specifically ask this question, right, which is the bail-in actually completely able to protect deposits or not, right? Because the Treasury position is quite clear, nothing to see here. Bail-in is not going to capture deposits at all, despite the fact that in New Zealand, which is the most transparent version of bail-in around the world, it's absolutely clear that deposits are on the table in a bail-in situation. And we've shown that the current position in Australia is deliberately obfuscated in our view, and that the door is open for deposits here to be grabbed, and the legal opinion supports that.
Yes. So in the previous episode that we did, you said you've received 50 pieces of correspondence from viewers who have written to politicians.
Yep.
Now, we have a letter here that we will sort of show on the screen, dated October 2018 to a supporter of ours, and this letter came to us a few months ago, basically saying that that bail-in of deposits is not possible. It's not in the intent of the government. So the language is almost identical to the language that we've seen in these letters from politicians, which basically implies that the language from from the politicians have come from Treasury. But it's one thing for the Parliament or the politicians to say something vis-a-vis the public servant. So the public servant said this can't happen, and now we have legal advice to say, well, that it potentially could happen. So now there's a difference of legal opinion, and once we publish this advice, I mean, I'm sure certain people may write back to politicians. They might write back to Treasury. I may write back to Treasury and say, we have a letter stating X from Treasury. We have a legal opinion stating Y. Sure.
I'm actually getting reports in, guys, that the video is very, very blurred. And it shouldn't be because it's playing in HD, so it must be bandwidth tonight. So that's what we're getting back on Facebook anyway. So we'll leave it at that. But what I will do is we'll make this, we will put this on the Coin page so that everyone can. It's really worthwhile watching about the bail-ins or possible bail-ins. Now, don't just think this is to Australia alone. This is everywhere. This is happening worldwide. And not many people really understand, they understand bailouts and what we've had to do with banks and everything in the past, in the last financial crisis, where we all had to bail them out through the government. Well, everyone thinks the government bailed them out. No, we did. We bailed them out. It's all of you. Everybody bailed them out. So, and banks haven't learned from this, but basically a bail-in is, let's just say you have savings in a savings account. It could just disappear. In other words, the bank has the authority to go and take that money. You say, well, we're guaranteed. No, read the fine print, okay? So I'll just leave it at that, but that is a very good report, and we will post it again on the Coin page so everyone can actually turn around and watch this, okay? So what else is happening? As I said, it is going to be a quick call, and I wanted to just say welcome, Mike. I see Mike is actually watching it must be from his hospital bed, probably on his phone or on his whatever tablet or something. But he is watching it on Facebook. So brilliant, Mike. Thank you for coming on. What else is happening? Anti-crypto bank Wells Fargo wants 348 billion lending power. That basically it has the money available to help SMEs and individuals during the coronavirus or the corona crisis. But they've been blocked by the feds on the asset market, on the asset cap. So, hey, they are stuck. There's like banks in the States, but then again, they probably want stupid interest rates as well. Max Kaiser, as usual, as we all know and love Max Kaiser from RT. Yeah. Gold is toilet paper for the rich, Bitcoin for the poor. People are going to buy Bitcoin in droves. And the reason for this is gold is not, or physical gold is not really going to be available to them. Okay, so I think they prefer to have Bitcoin and the speculation of Bitcoin. And that seems to be the way of the trend at the moment. Now, this is a little bit interesting where you've got Trump, Putin, and Jinping together stand for a global blockchain-based currency system. Now, this would work for international payments, etc. as well. Who says there's not a space for cryptocurrency? A few years ago, the banks would have told you that. But honestly and truly, it's here. And it's coming fast and a lot faster. So I think there's a place for everywhere with the crypto. Another little bit of seeing what bags are up, banks and that sort of thing are up to hijinks. Major Swedish or Sweden bank, Swedbank, fined 368 million for breaching anti-money laundering regulations. Hey guys, we launder money, we go to jail. Why are these guys still staying out? All they do is get a slap on the wrist. 386 million to some of these banks and some of these people is like saying a tenner. Okay. Evidence is also showing that politicians and Wall Street CEOs expected the market crash well before COVID-19. So they actually have to say. we're about done just about here today. As I said, we will repost in there. I just wanted to say about why I'm suggesting that people try and get on to the Eric Worre program. This is the guy that did GoPro. Okay, now Eric Worre is a very, very experienced trainer, network marketer, and definitely worth. And he's got some very, very interesting guests and that sort of thing on there as well. And why am I saying this? But you know, people just go, oh, network marketing or whatever. Well, network marketing profession pays out 200 million in commissions every single day of the year. That's amazing, isn't it? What am I going to say? I've got to have a little bit of a bash here. The world's largest Ponzi scheme, fiat currency and banking, on way to collapse. CEO of an online investment platform says this is on its way. Bloomberg report, real estate billionaire Barrick says commercial mortgages on brink of collapse. Okay. And last but not least, Richard Branson was mentioned by Eric Worre very briefly this evening. And it just says, and one of Richard Branson's very famous sayings is, and just down to it is, screw it, let's do it. So what I'm saying is, choose what you want to do. Everyone you must upon have a plan B. Look for a plan B. Very, very important. You know, we've seen what's happening. Most of us are all on lockdown, apart from, you know, certain parts of the world. I speak to people in Australia, I speak to people in New Zealand, I speak to people in South Africa, and we're all in the same boat. And it's when we come out of this, everything is going to be done in a different way. You know, business is going to be run different. More of us are going to work from home. A lot more of us are going to work from home. And we're going to need extra income. And plan B is always the best. So guys, look out there, choose whatever the bet, you know, what you wish to go for, and, you know, stick with it. But, you know, choose your company carefully. But just remember, network marketing is a great profession. And if you're part of it, be proud of it. Okay. I just wanted to say thank you very much. And sorry, it's only about 20 minutes tonight, but hey ho. I will have more interesting news next week, and there won't be any sidelines like other programs on and that sort of thing. So not meaning that any of you are least, but thank you very much. I just wanted to say to everyone, please stay safe. Oh, and by the way, the Eric Worre link has been posted in the group, and also the video has been posted in the group. Watch the video, but I also suggest Eric Worre. Thank you very much, and good night from us. Thank you. And I'm just going to stop the Facebook Live.